Just another piece of information about rust. So what you see on the transformer end bar, that rusting, it's just superficial rust. It does not affect sound quality at all. What matters, what counts, is how your amp looks on the inside, how your transformer windings are on the inside. That's what determines how healthy your amp is, how much good sound you can get out of it. Those indications that on the outside there's some rusting, it doesn't mean too much. It just means for you, if you get an amp like that, you should open it up and check out the inside how it is. On the outside, these are the transformer end bars. These are not part of the electrical and magnetic system of a transformer, and their sole purpose is to protect the transformer itself from physical problems. So for example, if we didn't have a end bar here, just the winding itself, and if I would poke it with something, then that would damage it. But now I can poke the end bar with anything I want, it will not damage the transformer. Plus, when there is rusting, it's the end bar that rusts, and if you want to, then you can get a new end bar, just pop it off, put on a new one, and it looks like new. And also, if you live in an area where corrosion is a big problem, then I recommend to remove your dust, so clean your amp and your stereo components 3 or 4 times a year. Just use this LPS one, just a few drops of it, and then just use a microfiber cloth and wipe it clean, and do it while your amp has been powered off. Do not do it when it's on, just because you can burn yourself, because the tubes get really hot, especially the power tubes. And you, if you are so clumsy and you dislodge one of the rectifier tubes, then there can be the high voltage there. I would say it never ever happens, but you might never know. There are people who are going for Darwin Awards. I have to just warn everyone for that. You can win Darwin Awards if you do very weird things, but if you just like a normal person and you clean your amp, then you will be fine. So here for these parts, because it's so rusty, you can add more LPS there. You can even make it like wet, so like there's a huge dab of it on top, and that will thank you later, because if you keep on adding LPS like 3-4 times a year, then that will prevent this rust from becoming worse and worse. By the way, this end bar looked much worse than this about 8 years ago, and then I cleaned it up and been applying LPS1 whenever I see these units, because these are my friend's units, and I also advise him to keep it dust free from time to time periodically, and it hasn't become any worse in the past 8 years than it was 8 years ago. So don't worry if you see like a few patches of rust, and if the amp is working properly and the inside is good, then you basically have a new amplifier for yourself. There's also lots of other considerations what you can look for in a used or antique amp, but this 4-minute video is not to cover that. This is just to cover that part, to remove the dust from the metal parts, because when the dust is collecting, that what collects the moisture from the air, and that's where the pitting will start to form. So no wonder that this area is the worst with the corrosion, because this is where the dust sits, in these corners, and that's where moisture is attracted and it will create corrosion. But it's a couple of times a year. Even if you don't use LPS, you can use just a plain microfiber cloth, or if you want, you can use one of those furniture polish things, what's the name of that you used for anti-static purposes, like Pronto or Pesto, or what is that? You can use a little bit of that as well, as long as it keeps your amp shiny and clean and dust free. You will be fine, and it won't start rusting on you for many years. Thank you. Bye bye.